The underground email flow that turns clicks into cash fast for subscription D2C brands. So, what is the problem here? The problem here is that most brands lose sales that they don't even see. So, a customer clicks your email, right? They have gone through, they've opened it already, they've engaged, now they've clicked, but that's the end. They show real interest in your product, but then something happens. They don't add to cart, they don't start checkout, and they don't even complete the purchase. So that click you earned is now completely wasted, right? You can throw it in the trash. And the customer slips away unnoticed. Now, this can happen hundreds of times per day, even thousands of times per day, and even probably tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of times per day, depending on how many people you have on your email list. So, and for subscription brands, every lost click hurts even more because each sale could mean months of lost revenue. Yet, most brands have no system to recover these shoppers. They just kind of accept the lost revenue as normal. But it doesn't have to be this way, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So, what's the solution here? There's a simple fix to this problem, and that simple fix is called the one-click rescue flow. This flow essentially targets people who've clicked an email but have not purchased. They have already basically shown interest in your product, but now they just need some sort of gentle reminder or another nudge to come back and act now. So, really quickly, who am I? My name is Nolan Butler. I have over 6 years' experience now in email marketing. The first email campaign I ever actually sent was in high school, and it made $50,000. I've recently moved full time into e-commerce email marketing, and I co-founded Emails for Good with my fiance Shay. You can see my fiance on the left there, Shay, and me on the right. We were in the Adirondack Mountains in 2024. Lastly, I live in upstate New York. So the flow trigger here, or what decides who enters the flow, is a customer clicks an email, and then a filter is but makes no purchase within that time frame. So customer clicks an email but has not purchased yet. And what we're going to do right after that is we're going to wait 1 hour after the trigger, after the click, and we're going to send a simple plain text email. Or if you're ambitious, we can send a dopamine spiking design based email, which I'll show you a couple of options later. But either way, we're going to try and keep this as simple as possible here. We want to be honest and blunt here with this as well. And an example of this is saying to the customer, hey, because you clicked, here's a special offer. So we want to reward the good engagement, right? We want to reward people for engaging with our emails, and we want to reward them for clicking. We want them to feel like, hey, if I click or if I engage or if I reply to the email, maybe I'm going to get something in return, right? So another thing we want to do is we want to use urgency here. So an example of this again would be like act now because it expires in 2 hours. And when I say 2 hours, like, yes, we should be that urgent with this type of email here. A 2 to 4 hour sale, flash sale is kind of what works really well here. What we also want to do is we want to link directly to the checkout using the responsive checkout URL in Klaviyo. And even we want to do this even if nobody added anything there. So why do we want to do that? So it's going to still bring them to your website regardless, even if the person didn't add anything to checkout, right? Their responsive URL will essentially just default to your website. And what it will do is it'll actually make it completely frictionless for those who had items in checkout already. So if you're using a discount code as well here, preload that link with the discount code, and you can do this within Shopify. And what this does again is it makes it completely frictionless for someone to buy, right? They literally just click on the link in the email and the discount is preloaded into their checkout. And what is this going to do? Ultimately, it's going to increase conversions here. So why does this matter? Well, timing makes all the difference here. 1 hour later means the interest is still fresh and it's still top of mind in the person's head. And this flow essentially just recovers sales that might be lost forever otherwise. And like we talked about earlier, every recovered sale can multiply for subscription brands in particular. So one rescue today could mean months and months of recurring revenue tomorrow. This is why the one-click rescue flow works so well and why almost every brand should be using it. So now let's talk a little bit about how this works and how this could work with seasonality. So you don't have to run this one-click rescue flow all year long, right? It's a little bit aggressive and it can, kind of turn some people away maybe, right? And some founders, some marketers might be a little bit hesitant to run this because it is kind of aggressive. It's a very aggressive approach. And so luckily for you, you don't have to run this all year long, and I'll show you where you can run this. So you can turn it on just like a light switch seasonally, or for specific offers that you're running. So, for example, during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, this would be a great time. You could activate it just for that week or those 2, 3 weeks to capture every possible sale, and you can kind of just flip the aggressive button, and it's definitely going to generate some good sales here and some good revenue. Another option here is you could tie it to a special promotion or a limited time launch, or even like a VIP offer for another example to see how it performs, right? Testing is everything in marketing. So, really just think of this like a lever that you can kind of pull when you really want to maximize revenue, which is pretty cool. So, essentially, running this gives you the best of both worlds. So, you keep your core flows steady while also having a flexible revenue booster you can turn on during peak sales moments. So now let's take a look at some examples here. So this is the first example here from Crawler. And what type is this? It's essentially a flash sale aspect, which is kind of the most common. Like I said, like a 2 to 4 hour flash sale that you want to do for this. And these aren't specific examples for the one-click rescue flow. These are kind of more just sale examples, but they show you what you can do here. And I'll show you the different types of one-click rescue flows that you can do within this. So you can see just it's big and bold and it's loud, flash sale, and it essentially just is short, simple again, right? There's not much to this email, but it's bold, it's loud, you know exactly what it is. So that's a flash sale angle there for the one-click rescue flow. So now let's look at this from Hero. So what is this? This is kind of a seasonal or sale specific one here. So you can see last day, last day, last day. So you could change this email every single day. So you could say, hey, there's 3 days left, 2 days left, 1 day left. And this email will go out to people who click maybe on your other emails and say, hey, there's 3 days left in this sale. Make sure you act now. And yes, you can say if somebody's been in this flow within the last 3 days or 4 days, then don't show them this email. So you're not just bombarding them with emails. But this is a great way to do this and leverage this. It's super timely, and this is another one of those like super simple ones where it's, hey, last day, reminds them of the offer that's going on. Very simple, not much text. Big shop now button, and then also some bestsellers here as well. So this is a good one from Goldbelly. What is this? Well, this is a unique and attractive offering style here that you could run for your one-click rescue flow here. So essentially, let's say that maybe you don't have a sale going on, or maybe you don't have anything going on, but somebody still clicks on one of your non-discount emails, but doesn't purchase, right? Maybe you could send them this offer or some offer like that's unique, but it's still attractive an hour later to kind of pique people's interest and push them over the edge, right? So here we have this weekend only, buy four, get four free, right? It's a unique offer. Again, it's like this dopamine releasing email that you see, and it's like, oh, it looks good, it feels good, and it's really easy to digest the information. So great job, Gold Belly. Here is another type from Factor. So this is where you essentially could just restate the offer in a big, bold way, right? So you can see how clear the offer is right here. It's from the start. So $130 off plus free wellness shots for 3 months. Activate offer, right? And then it's just a couple of product images there, and it resays it once again there. So what you could do, let's say you have a welcome offer, right? Let's say you have a welcome offer, and let's say somebody clicks on an email inside your welcome flow. So you could specify this to emails within your welcome flow, right? And you want to somebody clicks on it, doesn't purchase though. They don't purchase the welcome offer. And then an hour later you send them another email about the welcome offer, right? You don't want to keep discounting your brand over all time, right? but now you just restate it in a big, bold way where they can't miss it. And this is a great way to do that, and it's going to get a lot of sales. So this is another great example here from Away. And essentially what this is a limited time offering angle here that you can run. So again, it's super simple, right? There's how many words on this? Like less than 10, right? It's not a whole lot. And it's essentially is combining all those aspects, right? Simplicity, urgency, and bringing them into one email here. And look at, I mean, you can't even really scroll because it's the end of the email. So great job to Away here. This is another thing that would work really well here as a 1 hour rescue flow. And kind of the last one here I want to look at from Everlywell, it's, one of those seasonal type of offerings, right? So I believe it's a Memorial Day sale. Yeah. So this is a great example of what you could do for like a 1 hour rescue flow, right? So let's say somebody clicks on one of your emails, but they don't purchase for the Memorial Day sale. Well, you can send them an hour later, hey, it's not too late. Like, we're still here, that you can still take 15% off, and it's still a Memorial Day sale. And like I said, you can just turn this on for the Memorial Day sale, turn it off after the Memorial Day sale. So it's not like you have to keep this running forever, right? So great example there.